out of Vampire on the Nautilus that we weren't the biggest fans of, but I think in this composition they needed some extra engage and they needed some tankiness to be able to just face check brushes, something otherwise this composition is going to have quite a lot of struggles doing.
Still be very big in these team fights, and speaking of seeing some of that damage that we could be issues. Alla now is getting collapsed on here as Monkey already procs the Ghost. Alla flashes away in response. He's going to be matched by Cube, who now is overheated, and there comes the snip, and it's WE and Monkey picking up first blood.
There we go. As we were saying, Monkey has to be the driving force behind this team. I recognize that seeing the jungler up towards the top side for WE opens up the Drake for themselves, and despite the fact Karis is in the area, it's going to be very unlikely that they can do anything about this one. Maybe they can try for some kills though.
Yeah, they're looking maybe on a missing. Valk available for Karis. Doesn't want to go too far forward. So we'll just be that dragon traded over for JDG. Because something that, you know, hands can't necessarily give you is experience and the ability to play out team fights as a coordinated unit. And that's what these guys kind of know what to do. As Cube going to be targeted here in a 1v3. Going to try to survive as long as possible and burn as many cooldowns as he can. Overheats on the Rumble before going down to Shun. But here comes the rest of the team. Karis picks up the first kill on the missing. And now it's a 3v2. Now turned into a 3v3. Here comes Scout. He's exhausted. There's a slicing Maelstrom for Mala though. Makes another 1-for-1 trade. Karis is able to dash away with another Valkyrie. And now the soul laners for JDG are going to try to do a little bit more damage onto the Corki, but he will escape with his life. Overall, a very even trade. It's 2 for 2.
In that one, 1-for-1, more than happy with that for WE. They are losing themselves a little bit in terms of some of the lanes for just CS, but still, Monkey going to be able to pick up some of the grubs right here too. This has been a good early game.
Mid-prio though generated by JDG, but they're going to walk straight into Vampire, who actually Hex Flashes out of nowhere, and now lands that hook. Here comes the bullet time, but the Gwen Shroud actually keeping Monkey alive for so much time. Here comes the Needlework two-man pulp though, and now JDG able to win that fight easily. It's a 2 for nothing.
Yeah, despite the fact that the Hallowed Mist was able to keep Monkey alive for ages right there, it really doesn't matter in the end. You think they can most certainly try to play around. We'll obviously see what the soul is going to be in just a second's time. Let's see if it's going to be one of the better ones, because if it is, then this could be something huge for JDG to try to play.
Scout here, nicely used Hallowed Mist to make sure that Monkey doesn't get hit up by the charm. First grub will get secured by Shun, and I think that's all that WE really wanted, to at least force members of JDG around the pit instead of them trying to allocate their resources in a split fashion. Third grub still is available, and Monkey could potentially try to steal this one away. He has the smite, could dash in, and instead it's Vampire actually looking for the hook, initially on the missing. Not too much damage dealt. Instead, now the target is going to be Shun. But look at the bullet time. It's going to be Monkey picking up at least that first grub. But here comes a teleport from the other side. Ollie's finally arrived in the fight. Uses the slicing Maelstrom. Pops missing. Equalizer comes out, though. And now JDG are a bit split in this team fight. The rest of WB, they're going to have to try to escort out safely. Here's a nice charm from Scout as the world champion will take down Monkey. Shun will follow, but Taeyun will shut him down with a fourth shot. Q flashes over the wall. Who will potentially try to follow the Rumble as the curtain call is going to get canceled by a charm. Scout, yeah, I mean, using a major cooldown onto the Alistar, who wants to get closer to your entire team anyway. Exactly. As speaking of getting closer, that's going to be Monkey getting very, very close to Scout, maybe a little bit closer than he would have liked with that nicely max range charm, in which is kind of a crazy thing to say considering the pedigree that this guy has. But you think of, like, you know, Knight playing really well, even Rookie and Doinby, like, this guy should belong in that conversation, but I feel like in general, some of us kind of just forget that JDG even exists sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of when we have conversations of the top 4 teams, it does feel like they're getting left out of the conversation quite a lot at the moment, which is surprising for a team with this many amazing players, this much history behind it. But honestly, when we're talking about top tier teams, it feels like in terms of the conversation, you talk about AL. Oh, hang on. He's alright.
Yeah, as we were discussing that.
He goes back.
Monkey!
What?
He tries to come back in and steal that dragon. He knew it was a one-way trip, and it was just a 50-50, but Shun able to lock it down and pick up soul point for JDG.
I was expecting him to just leave. And I guess I can understand it, right? You really don't want to be giving over that soul point already, just 17 minutes into the game. It's a very early soul potentially going to be picked up right here for JDG. And like we were talking about earlier, not necessarily the best, the Ocean Drake, but still going to make these more extended team fights.
Just a small win here for his team.
It's at least something. They can't just sit back. They have to keep trying in this game. Potentially we're going to get a 1v1 here.
Wow, yeah. I was surprised Ollie went in after missing the shuriken, but I think he's just going to win out of it anyway. No! Karis does. One last shuriken would have been able to do the deed, but Karis, the Corki. gets his kill number 3 in this game. He's Scout, making it a 4v5 on the map. The health bar is not necessarily looking great here for WE. Gonna be Vampire once again starting off the engage. Knocks down Missing. Remember, he doesn't have his ultimate from earlier. Should be burned down, but will get away from that final proc of the equalizer. There comes Pays. Bullet time. It'll at least lock down Vampire for now. And
it's
Sean
stolen!
steals
No!
away the Otacon. And it's now disaster unfolding for World Elite with their world falling before their eyes. Scout dashing forward, looking to finish off the final kill here for JDG. It is 4, soon to be 5. A clean ace for the squad.
Oh, woof. That one hurts right there to lose out on 4v5.
Please. Right now, tough for WE. I mean, you respect them going for that play after finding a pick, like they did with the solo kill that Karras was able to collect. But at the end of the day, it was not enough, and now got a long way out of this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is going to go a long way towards making this game worse and worse. Losing the soul as well, not going to be ideal. And as we watch these towers begin to melt, we've still got 2 minutes until the next Drake is going to spawn. For JDG, they're in a great spot to just be able to step forwards. Not killable at this point. You don't want to give over the 200 gold for the shutdown. Oh, Monkey, does he want the flank here? They could try.
Oh, Missing. 2-man pull to start things off. Taeyun already has to be chunked a little bit by the Ignite, but Missing might have gone a little bit too far forward. The ultimate blocking a lot of the damage for now. Vampire the first to fall, and here comes Sean with the cease and desist immediately onto Karras. That's the main carry, and the slicing Maelstrom will finish off this game before the Baron even spawns Bloxer. It's going to be Pays picking up a big chunk of kills, and all 5 members of JDG hunting for the Nexus of World Elite.
Can Taeyun do anything about this one? You'd have to imagine that the answer is no. He's going to get pushed back into the base by Pays and Scout, and the towers will fall. The Nexus soon to follow. People are respawning, but it's just surely not going to be enough.
Yeah, Vampire dies one more time for the culture. 0-5-2 his final scoreline. Max range charm again from Scout, but nobody will be able to take Taeyun down before the Nexus drops. JDG taking game number 1.
At the same time, I think we would have been saying the same thing in every single matchup for WE. Whatever team they were up against, it's going to be all on Monkey, whoever they're playing. And after he just blows his flash, if you then immediately punt him into the backline and he dies there, that would be so funny. Actually, pretty close was Taeyun to being able to steal that one away.
Yeah, W would love to at least take one of these grubs away. We'll see if they try to go for an engage. It is a 4v3 on the top side of the map, and so with pushing them away, will be W actually getting one of the grubs? And that might be big for a couple of reasons. Of course, it gives you that advantage, but also prevents one of those feats of strength from going over to JDG.
If Pays and Missing want it, to be able to start yourself up right here onto the Drake.
Okay. This is your angle. No flash on Scout. This is the opportunity to find a kill,
Nice.
and they do. Monkey uses the Fury ultimate to pick up first blood for WE.
There we go. That's what we wanted to see out of WE. Monkey being proactive, being able to pick up that kill.
We'll tongue Taeyun down to pretty low. And that will also allow for Shun to pick up this dragon on the bottom side. So objectives as well as HP and CS on the bottom side of the map, still going well for JDG.
Absolutely, but still, it's something. We're getting to see some good aggressive plays out of WE. They didn't die, you know, in any of the issues with Vampire, although, having said that...
Might be a bit of a curse here. There goes Vampire. Gets exhausted, gets Magnet Storm, still actually alive for a long time. Missing, has to get away from the tower aggro, and now Shun in a bit of a sticky situation as well. Taeyun still has a killer instinct, going to use it, but still gets knocked up. He flashes away, picks up 1 kill. Missing, should be a trade, but no! He barely gets away from tower range to allow for a double kill to go to Pay. Cube was anticipating a flash from Ala behind him to go for an E backwards or something, to go for the insect. As I say that, looks like Monkey might have found out Shun again. It's actually WE to pick up the feat of warfare here in this game. Pays issues some damage back, but with that numbers advantage with the jungler down, it should mean that WE get first dibs on these grubs. I
like that, Cope. I think you're right. You know, I don't think that was a misclick out of Cube. I think it just looks really funny, but you're probably correct in that one. Like I said, it's going to be all 3 of these grubs going on over to WE because they're able to pick up that kill onto Jun. But the tower in the bot lane falling incredibly low at the moment, with WE having the warfare.
Wow, he just, Giga Chad held his Hex Flash for like 3 seconds in vision, and still actually forced the flash out of Monkey, who was only able to pick up 2 of those 3 grubs, by the way, so that will be an even trade most likely after Shun has respawned and takes control of this top side river.
Oh, and this game, considering how much it was in the favor of JDG in the first one, WE, they're actually fighting back. Monkey looking really good right now, stepping up again, could potentially go for another play.
Hey, keep sending it. Why not? Solar Flare going in on the missing. He's getting crowd control locked to Oblivion, and Taeyu will pick him up with the Acathian Rain. Grub still available, as Shun wasn't able to take it down, and WE might be able to pick up all 3.
Monkey so proactive right here on the Neferi. I think it's been his best champion. This and the Skarner have been amazing looks right now for this guy, and showing up in this game number 2 versus JDG. As we've been saying, this is the first series that we're seeing out of WE. Really odd in terms of the way that this split has worked out.
Of course, getting a good opportunity here to play in this Ascension group. Get some of the best teams that we have here in the LPL. So far, putting up a good fight against JDG here in game number 2. However, in terms of the gold, it still is JDG ahead by a fair margin. Vampire has been using that Hex Flash basically off of cooldown to try to look for some plays, playing very aggressively on this front line. Basically treating his life like it doesn't really matter. But so far, it's actually him setting up kills for his team. As Karis finds the kill yet again onto Missing, who gets caught out for the 2nd time in a row and should allow for WE to pick up this Drake.
Yeah, straight on over to the Drake, go WE. And we said potentially JDG could just abandon this one. Instead, they try to stand around to fight for it. I really like the positioning right there out of Vampire, actually. He kept walking down, making it look potentially like he was going for Jun, and then decides to E straight back up.
Teleport is coming in from Ala. He's the strongest player in this game, I would say, by a decent margin. You can see it there with that accelerated shock blast. Already taking Taeyu down to half. Shun waiting to try to potentially steal away this Rift Herald. He's going to be a little bit far away, but might be here for a fight. Monkey's going to be able to collect the eye, and now here comes the engage. Teleport comes in again from the bottom side. It's out, joining the fray. But now, WE can just fully collapse upon the flank of Ala and potentially just take this chase down. It's Monkey picking up yet another kill, as JDG were waiting around for way too long before they decided to make a move.
Yeah, that was really odd from JDG, where they were just sat there waiting. Like you said, they may well be able to catch out onto either Cube or Vampire. I think Vampire's just going to fall right here, but it's really not going to be the end of the world. Maybe Monkey wants to re-engage.
And it seems like maybe WE want to fight this. He's also on the Cube right now. Vampire will be the sacrifice. Here comes the Magnet Storm from Missing, but now Monkey's here. Taeyun in the back line as well. Could potentially go in with the Killer Instinct. Finds it on
there he is.
There goes Taeyun. He finds the shutdown, and WE are still alive in this one. Monkey poking with the dogs, and Cube still continuing to try to chase down Shun. Monkey, Monkey. He eats a wind, becomes lightning. Shun could potentially E in to pick up a kill, but the Neferi will not fall. WE are up 8.
Getting hit by that would have been almost certainly a death sentence right there. We are, though, going to see this Rift Herald heading down into the bottom lane. This tower will fall. Are they going to be able to get another charge off of it? I would be surprised. Instead, no WE. They're just going to pull back. Drake, though, spawning in under 10 seconds time. Picking this one up would be huge right now. Hextech Soul, massive for whichever team is going to be able to pick this one up, especially with such heavy skirmishing, fighting-based compositions.
Comes an ultimate here. Once again, Monkey going on to scout. Nice buffer. We're with the untargetable. Here comes Cube as well on the Ambessa. And Scout is down. Missing will fall in addition. And Shun is stuck in a 1v4. And Paze can only watch as the jungler goes down. The Mystic shot's just not going to cut it. On the back end of things, it's a 1v1 kill for Ala. Dragon.
Yeah, but still, JDG, they trade it. Like you said, the 1v1 kill from Ala. I don't know why Taeyun was caught out right there. Really unfortunate as the Kai'Sa to just get jumped fully by this very strong Jace. And they also get that tier 2 tower in the mid lane to JDG. They keep themselves in the advantage in terms of gold, but it feels like the objectives and the fights are just falling right here. Do feel confident to do this. They saw Monkey topside, to be fair, yeah.
Why not just go for it? I mean,
yeah, very true. Monkey way out of position right here. You're going to get yourself one tower for it, maybe a second one. Is that worth it while as a trade? I'm not sure.
We'll see if they can get 2 here. That's big. They have 2 grubs. Yeah. They have 4 grubs, I should say, right now. So WE going to continue to push here with Karis and Monkey. They will likely take down this tier 2 tower. However, now it is just a bunch of blood petals going the way of JDG. So not even the false resets here. And so we're actually at a relatively even game state here, Blockster. Right now, the petals, again, the biggest difference maker in terms of how strong these teams are. Taeyun from the fight again. Shun, the one that started up. Vampire spots him out. Monkey here as well. Dragon actually going to potentially be stopped here as Vampire goes all the way in onto Olive, but the Solar Flare doesn't connect. Here comes Cube off the teleport flank. They lock down the jungler and Shun will fall. Olive forced to flash away, but Taeyun will go over the Killer Instinct and pick up the shutdown. He'll die in response to the Pays, who's still full HP here on the Ezreal, but Monkey's going ballistic, but can Pays do it? He picks up one. Cube here to shut him down, and that's an ace for WE.
It's a complete mess of a team fight right now. Everybody split at the beginning. Vampire's just in the mix, in the middle of everyone. But WE, they keep 2 members alive. They're not going to be able to grab the Drake on the back end of that one, but they will pick themselves up a ton of kills, some shutdowns, some towers as well. And this is exactly what they would have been looking for out of this team fight. WE, they don't want to be a speed bump on the way.
That's what we're seeing a little bit here. And by the way, that
Round
Dragon
2
didn't end up going down, so we're going to go do it again. Shun, the one to continue to start this one off. Solar Flare does hit Ala. Will Monkey get in the pit? He does. Right now, JDG are peeling away from the Drake and instead looking for the fight. Vampire very low. Zenith Blade does not connect.
Who gets it?
Worlds comes in.
Stolen!
And will be secured here by Shun, as that is now the second Dragon of the game secured here for JDG. But Monkey will dash in and take down Missing. Pick up a reset. But here comes JDG. They've scaled into the late game. Karis will go down, and it is 3 dead for just Missing.
Oh, WE, they had themselves in such a good position.
Win to a 2v4 with the Baron being taken down without a smite. So it will be JDG securing the big purple worm. And once again, they can breathe a little bit easier. Back up in the lead. He's now at 3 full items, looking for a 4th with that last Whisper completed. And now JDG can try to break this game open a little bit more. Inner towers, the first to fall on the bottom side. Jungle camp secured. Stolen away here from Monkey, who here with the Jace Ezreal that was selected early on in this draft here for JDG. True Shot Barrage chunks Taeyun down to 30%, I should say, or even less. And that is the tier 2 turret going over for free, and now the inhibitor certainly under threat.
Now let's see if they're going to be able to crack open the base right here. It's so tricky to actually step up here as WE and clear out these Baron empowered cannon minions. Just going to be able to take down this tower. Now here comes the engage.
Only landing the engage on the Missing right now, so Pays still free to fire. That's going to shift forward and take down the Leona. Now it's the 5v4. Pays continuing to go in. Here comes Missing. Not using the Magnus Storm just yet. Karis goes between worlds. Monkey going way too far forward all by himself, and that should be game. It looked good for WE for a little bit, but this is JDG that we're talking about, man. They're here for way more than just the victory against World Elite. They want the game, they want the series, they want to dominate the Ascension group, and with a 2-0 over WE, they will jump up to 2-0 overall in the standings.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.